Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the course of Academic Reading and Writing. In today's lecture, we are going to put together all the skills which we practiced in the reading comprehension exercises. And today we are having a lecture that is basically a lecture in which we are using all the 4 skills of reading comprehension which we practiced in the previous lectures. And the topic of today's lecture is reading comprehension practice. In the beginning, I will review that what we have learned in previous 4 practices. And after that I will introduce a paragraph for the practice, and then I will give you some of the questions of reading comprehension, and you have to do the marking practice of the passage, and later on I will help you that how you can mark the passage that is being given for the reading comprehension. And after this initial practice, I will provide you the answers of the reading comprehension questions. So this is the agenda for today's class, and I hope that it will help you in the reading comprehension of any given text. So I'm starting with the review of last 4 practices of reading comprehension. And in the first session we talked about getting the facts, and in the second practice of reading comprehension we talked about finding the main idea of any given text. And the third exercise of reading comprehension was about determining what words mean in context. And the last practice of reading comprehension was about distinguishing between facts and opinions. So in this very lesson, we will get a vital practice because in this practice we are using all these 4 skills, and these skills are getting the facts, finding the main idea, determining what words mean in context, and distinguishing between facts and opinions. So this is the agenda for today's class. So I will explain these very things to you a little bit so that you get the idea clear, and I will connect this concept with the way of finding out different details, with the way as detectives find out the different details of the crimes, and they solve the issues that they confront. And we see that normally in order to resolve a problem or an issue or any crime situation, a detective cannot just get the facts of the case, or he not only discover the motives or decipher the difficult clues that are available to him, or he is not just trying to distinguish between the facts and opinions. Actually, a successful detective is that person who combine all these things and use all these basic informations to solve the issue or the problem. So in the same way, we see that reading really cannot be broken down into these very skills as separate tasks. We see that we need to combine, and we need to employ all these strategies simultaneously. And if we are doing that very thing, it means that we will be able to comprehend the message that is being provided in that very text. So this lesson will give us the opportunity to combine all these strategies or all these skills, and in this way we can make our reading comprehension skill to the next level. So that is the basic aim of using all these 4 strategies or skills to make our comprehension one level ahead of that which we already have. If we will look at these strategies which we studied in our previous lectures, we see that finding the facts in what you read is the main thing. And we practice looking for the basic information that is being conveyed in any given paragraph. And the main thing is that we find out the details about the questions, like who has done this very thing, or about whom this very thing is being narrated, or what is the event, or what has happened, and when and where that thing happened, and how that thing actually happened within a given text. And the second thing is finding the main idea. Actually, finding the main idea is the concept which we discussed in our previous lecture. And in this we learn about the topic sentence and how these topic sentences express an assertion or a statement about the subject of the paragraph. And we also discussed that how this main idea must be general enough to cover all the other sentences, or to encompass all the other sentences, or to connect all the other sentences within that very given paragraph. And we also discussed that it is the thought that controls the paragraph, and other sentences work to support that main idea. So in the second practice, we discussed that how main idea, or how central idea, which is the controlling force of any given paragraph, that gives us information about that paragraph. And in this way, we can identify that what are the supporting details that are there to support the main idea, and it becomes very easy to identify all these details. In the second practice, we discussed the concept of finding the main idea, and in the third practice, we tried to determine the meanings of the words from the context. Often we see that we come across such type of vocabulary about the meanings or the definition of that vocabulary. We are not clear, or we are unaware of their real meanings. So in the third practice, we tried to determine that how we can find out the meanings of the words from the context, from the words which are there, which are surrounding that very word. And we practice that how we can look for the clues to determine the meanings in the words and sentences surrounding the unfamiliar words or phrases. So with the words that are preceding that word which is unfamiliar to us, or the word that follows that very word, helps us to find the meanings of those very words which are unfamiliar to us. In the fourth practice exercise of reading comprehension, we distinguish between facts and opinions. And in that very lesson, we learn that if fact is something that is known to be true, whereas we see that an opinion is something that is believed to be true. So the difference was between believing something and knowing something. And in that lesson, we practiced to distinguish between these two terms. And we saw that how good paragraphs use facts to support opinions. And these two terms are interrelated, and opinions need facts, because without proper support of facts, opinions are often things which are not believed, or it is not considered a good paragraph if we see that opinion is not supported with the proper use of facts. So these are the four skills, or these are the four strategies which we already covered in the previous lectures of reading comprehension practices. And these four skills or strategies are finding the facts in what we are reading, and the second skill is finding the main idea of any given text, And the third thing which we practiced was determining the meanings of words from the context. And the last thing which we practiced in reading comprehension exercises was distinguishing between facts and opinions. Now let's move towards the practice, and first of all I'm going to display that very paragraph from which you have to answer some of the given questions, and I will display these questions after you pause the video and read this very text which I have displayed for you. In this lesson you will sharpen your reading comprehension skills by using all these strategies at once, and this will become more natural to you as your reading skills develop. So begin by looking at the following paragraph, and remember to read actively. Try to mark up the text as you go through the lines of this text, and then answer the questions that I will show you on the next slide. Now you pause the video and read this very paragraph and mark up the text as you go to the passage. So pause the video. Welcome back, and now I am going to show you the questions which you have to answer, and these questions are from the passage you have just completed reading. And the questions are, the first question is that what is the subject of this very passage? This is the first question, and after I complete all these very questions, you again go to the paragraph and try to reread the passage so that you can easily answer the question, and try all the 4 skills to get the answers of these questions. The first question is, what is the subject of this passage? The second question is that according to the passage, which of the following options would make healthy, low-fat additions to a university canteen's offerings? You have to circle all the correct answers from the options now I am showing you. The first option is tofu, and the second option is veggie burgers. Option C is low-fat milk. Option D is fries. Option E is salad bar. Option F is grilled chicken sandwiches. Option G is stir-fried vegetables. These are the options, and you have to find out that according to this very passage, which of the following options would make healthy, low-fat additions to a university canteen offerings. You have to circle the correct answers. The third question is, the meaning of mimic is. We have 4 options. The first one is reject. The second option is copy. The third option is ignore. And the last and fourth option is disregard. These are the 4 options, and you have to determine the meanings of these very words from the context. You have to keep in your mind the 4 skills. As I already told you that you can use the 4 skills which we already practiced during previous lectures, and you can apply those 4 skills to find out the answers of these questions. Up till now I have given you 3 questions. The 4th question is, which of the following best summarize the main idea of the passage? There are 3 options. The first option is, teenagers love to eat fast food more than anything else. This is the first option. Option B is, university cafeterias should serve veggie burgers. The third option is, school canteens should be providing healthy, low-fat options for students. These are the 3 options, and you have to find out that which of the following statements best summarize the main idea of the passage. Fifth question is that you have to judge this very thing, whether this statement is true or false. And the statement is that one of the most important steps in the right direction would be for university canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for students. This very statement is a topic sentence. Now you have to judge this very thing, whether this is a topic sentence or not. And you have to mark this statement either true or false. Sixth question is again true or false. And the statement is, one of the most important steps in the right direction would be for university cafeterias or canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for students is an opinion. So we already distinguished between fact and opinion, and here you have to apply those very techniques that we already studied in our previous lectures, that how can we distinguish between fact and opinion. So now you have to apply those 4 skills or 4 strategies, and using those 4 strategies you have to answer these very questions. Now you pause the video, and before you check the answers, you look again at the paragraph. Did you mark it up? If so, it's okay, or if you are thinking about marking it, I will help you. But I suggest you that first of all you mark it, and then you see that how I have marked this whole paragraph. So now I'm going to show you that how you can mark this very paragraph. First of all, I will read the paragraph, and along with that I will show you that what are the things which we can mark in this paragraph. It is clear that Pakistan is a nation that needs to eat healthier and slim down. One of the most important steps in the right direction would be for university canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for students. Now this very line, I'm going to underline these 2 lines, and you just think about these 2 lines, that what do these lines suggest to you? Yes, you are very right. This is the main idea of this very paragraph, because it is your second reading, and I believe that you may have judged this very thing, that this is the main idea of this very passage, because rest of the sentences are supporting this very idea, and the main idea is one of the most important steps in the right direction would be for our university canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for students. So this is the main idea. And one of the questions which I have given to you was that you have to identify the meanings of one of the difficult word which I have marked here. But before that, I will read the lines that are there. In every town and city, fast food restaurants lure teenage customers with fast, inexpensive and tasty food, but these foods are typically unhealthy. Unfortunately, university canteens, in an effort to provide food that is appetizing for young people, mimic fast food menus. So you have to judge the meanings of this very word. The word is mimic, and you mark that how the relevant information that is preceding this very word or that is following this word helps you to find the meanings of this word. And I will give you some other details that how you can find the meanings of this very word, but later on when I will be showing you the answers of this very questions. So this is the word in this paragraph, mimic, and you have to judge the meanings. though I am showing you the meanings of this word, and the meanings are to copy. Then we move forward and we see that what are the food items which these very university canteens are providing or offering, that is basically appetizing to young people. And these very items are burgers, fries, pizza, hot dogs and fried chickens. So basically these very foods are unfortunately the items which are being provided by university canteens to the young people, and these very items are basically a copy of fast food menus, and we see that these are unhealthy foods that are also offered by fast food restaurants. Now I continue reading from this very passage. While these foods do provide some nutritional value, they are relatively high in fat. This very sentence tells us that these offerings are high fat lunches, or they are relatively high fat food items. We see that many of the lunch selections university canteens currently offer could be made healthier with few simple and inexpensive substitutions. So here the writer is suggesting something, that we can substitute some of the food items with other items which could be healthier and inexpensive. So these suggestions are veggie burgers, a salad bar, and the third option is tasty grilled chicken sandwiches. So first I will read and then you will find that these are the options which the writer is offering us, and it could be healthier and inexpensive substitutions for those very high fat lunch offerings. So veggie burgers offered alongside beef burgers would be a positive addition. Veggie burger is the first positive addition. A salad bar would also serve the purpose of providing a healthy and satisfying meal. Salad bar is the second option. And a tasty grilled chicken sandwiches would be a far better option than the fried chicken, because grilled things are better than the fried ones, because fried items are rich in oil, and often such oily things are considered unhealthy for the human body. So the third option is tasty grilled chicken sandwiches. In grilled sandwiches we find the chicken that is grilled. Additionally, the beverage case should be stocked with the containers of low-fat milk. The third replacement or substitution is the low-fat milk, and if we replace the beverages like different colas, if we replace them with the low-fat milk, that will be a healthier substitution, and these would be possible healthy low-fat lunch options. Now we are moving towards the answers of the questions, and you will see that how we can make good replies to the questions of reading comprehension practice. The first question is that what is the subject of this very passage? And the answer is that the subject of the passage is healthier, low-fat lunch options in the university cafeterias. This is the subject, and we know that there is a difference between the topic or the subject of the passage and the main idea of the passage. So the subject of this passage is healthier, low-fat lunch options in university canteens. And again I'm telling you that remember this very thing, that the subject of the passage is who or what the passage is about, and this is different from the main idea. Now let's see that what is the second question. And the second question is that according to the passage, which of the following options would make healthy, low-fat additions to university canteens offerings? And you have to circle all the answers. Yes, the correct options are E, C, E, and F. These results are all mentioned in the passage. Tofu, A, and stir-fried vegetables, that is option G, are both healthy, low-fat lunch options, but they are not mentioned in this very passage. Whereas fries, that is option D, are mentioned, but they are not low-fat, and we see that they are mentioned as one of the unhealthy items that should be replaced or substituted. Remember, you are looking for the facts that the author has provided in this very passage, and it is very important, especially in the test situation, not to put in an answer that is not in the text. If some details or some of the facts are not there in the text, you should not include those things in your answers. And logic may tell you that tofu and stir-fried vegetables are healthy, low-fat lunch options, but as the paragraph does not tell us about these very options, so we should stick to the facts that are there within that passage. Any assumption that we make about the passage must be grounded in the evidence that is found in that passage itself. Now let's move towards the third question, and I have shown you that where this word is in the passage, and we will discuss that what are the meanings of this word. We have four options. The first one is reject. The second option is copy. Option C is ignore. Option D is disregard. Dear students, answer is, I have already told you that the mimic word means to copy. And the most obvious clue is the way the word is used in this very sentence. Unfortunately, university canteens, in an effort to provide food that is appetizing to young people, mimic fast food menus, often serving items such as burgers and fries, pizza, hot dogs, and fried chickens. Burgers, fries, pizza, hot dogs, and fried chickens are all foods served by the fast food restaurants. And we have information about these words in the previous line. And if university canteens are also serving those foods, so they are clearly copying fast food menus, and they are not rejecting or ignoring or disregarding them. So the right option is to copy, and we can easily identify this very thing from the clues that are providing in the preceding and following ideas. So the right option is option B, to copy. The fourth question is, which of the following best summarize the main idea of the passage? The answer is option C. We see that answer A is basically an assumption that is not based on anything that is written in this very passage. And the option is that teenagers love to eat fast food more than anything else. So we do not have any detail about this very idea in this passage. So answer A is an assumption not based on anything written in the passage. Whereas answer B is too specific, and we see that it is only one example of a healthy low-fat lunch option that a university canteen can serve. And the option is that university canteens should serve veggie burgers. So it is not that journal that covers all the things which are being referred in this passage. So we need such an idea as the main idea, which is the central idea, and all other details are just supporting this very idea. So the third option is that university canteens should be providing healthy, low-fat options for students. And we see that this very option C, that is basically journal and factual enough that covers or encompasses the whole paragraph. So right option is option C. Now we have two statements, and we have to judge this very thing, whether these statements are true or false. The first statement is one of the most important step in the right direction would be for university canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for the students. We have to judge this very thing, that whether it is the topic sentence or not. And we see that this sentence expresses the main idea. So this assumption or this very idea is the main idea, and we see that it has that journal and factual information that encompasses the whole paragraph. So this is the central idea of this passage. And the last question was again we have to choose whether the statement is true or false, and the statement is same, but in the end we see another option. First of all, I will read that option and you just tell me that whether this is true or false. One of the most important steps in the right direction would be for university canteens to provide healthy, low-fat options for students is an opinion. And we already studied this very thing, that how we can judge that whether any statement is a fact or an opinion. This sentence is an opinion. And why this sentence is an opinion? Because it is debatable. We see that someone else might think that changing or altering the menu in university canteens is not one of the most important steps to be taken in order to make Pakistanis a healthier or slimmer nation. But they might think that campaigning about dangers of fast food or implementing more rigorous classroom education about eating healthier is more important than changing the menus of the university canteens is important. So this very option is debatable. So when the thing is debatable, it means that it is an opinion. So again, the answer of the sixth question is that yes, it is true that this statement is an opinion. So this was all about today's lecture, that how did you do if you use the 4 techniques or strategies or 4 skills that we already practiced, and you can easily comprehend the stuff which is being provided to you in this passage. So this is all about today's lecture. And dear students, in today's lecture we revised the concepts which we already covered in our previous practices of reading comprehension, and the 4 strategies or 4 skills which we practice in today's lecture. And these very strategies are finding the facts in what you have read, and finding the main idea, that was the second thing, and the third thing was determining the meanings of words from the context, and the last thing or last strategy was of distinguishing between facts and opinion. So these are the 4 things which we practiced, and I hope that now you will be completely clear about the topic, and now you will be in position to better implement these 4 strategies to comprehend the passage in that way which can take your comprehension to the next level. So thank you very much for listening passionately. Allah Hafiz.